didn't dodge the question this time. A mic extended, a crowd holding its breath, and it came. A single chill response that lit up the internet like a sudden flare. When Travis Kelce said, "Yeah, I think we're finally ready," the world took it as a green light. But here's the twist. There's still no official wedding date posted by Taylor Swift or Travis. That gap between what he said and what's been announced, that's where the real story begins. It all started as a joke, or at least that's what everyone thought. Back in 2023, Travis Kelce was just another NFL superstar living his best life on and off the field. On his podcast, New Heights, he casually mentioned trying to give Taylor Swift a friendship bracelet during her Eras tour, one that had his phone number on it. He said it with a grin, like it was nothing serious. Fans laughed. Media outlets picked it up as a cute headline, a harmless what if. Nobody thought it would go anywhere. But the internet has a funny way of turning jokes into destiny. Just a few weeks later, Taylor showed up at Arrowhead Stadium. VIP box, Chiefs colors, that signature red lipstick. And suddenly, everything changed. The crowd went wild. The cameras couldn't look away. What was once a podcast punchline became the start of something real, something the whole world could feel. From that day, the story wrote itself. Every touchdown Travis scored felt like a secret message. Every time Taylor smiled from the stands, fans swore they were watching a love story unfold in real time. The chemistry wasn't just visible, it was magnetic, and the public couldn't get enough of it. What stood out most wasn't the fame or the headlines or the perfectly lit photos, it was the small, unplanned moments. Taylor laughing with Travis's mom, Donna, like they'd known each other for years. Travis showing up to her shows quietly, without turning it into a spectacle. The glances, the handholds, the tiny gestures that no PR team could ever choreograph. It wasn't forced, it wasn't performative, it was genuine, and maybe that's why people cared so much. Because in a world where celebrity relationships are often built for clicks, theirs felt old-fashioned, real. It reminded people of something they'd been missing. Love that didn't need to shout to be seen. For older fans, it was a story about timing and trust. For younger ones, it was proof that fairy tales can start in the most unexpected places, even with a joke on a podcast. What began as a simple what if had turned into the biggest pop culture love story of the decade. One small bracelet, one public appearance, and suddenly two people from completely different worlds were rewriting what love in the spotlight could look like. But that was only the beginning, because what came next would prove that this wasn't luck or PR magic, it was something deeper, something meant to last. It all started as a joke, or at least that's what everyone thought. Back in 2023, Travis Kelce was just another NFL superstar living his best life on and off the field. On his podcast, New Heights, he casually mentioned trying to give Taylor Swift a friendship bracelet during her Eras tour, one that had his phone number on it. He said it with a grin, like it was nothing serious. Fans laughed. Media outlets picked it up as a cute headline, a harmless what if. Nobody thought it would go anywhere, but the internet has a funny way of turning jokes into destiny. Just a few weeks later, Taylor showed up at Arrowhead Stadium. VIP box, Chiefs colors, that signature red lipstick, and suddenly, everything changed. The crowd went wild. The cameras couldn't look away. What was once a podcast punchline became the start of something real, something the whole world could feel. From that day, the story wrote itself. Every touchdown Travis scored felt like a secret message. Every time Taylor smiled from the stands, fans swore they were watching a love story unfold in real time. The chemistry wasn't just visible, it was magnetic, and the public couldn't get enough of it. What stood out most wasn't the fame or the headlines or the perfectly lit photos. It was the small, unplanned moments. Taylor laughing with Travis's mom, Donna, like they'd known each other for years. Travis showing up to her shows quietly without turning it into a spectacle. The glances, the handholds, the tiny gestures that no PR team could ever choreograph. It wasn't forced, it wasn't performative, it was genuine. And maybe that's why people cared so much, because in a world where celebrity relationships are often built for clicks, theirs felt old-fashioned, real. It reminded people of something they'd been missing, love that didn't need to shout to be seen. For older fans, it was a story about timing and trust. For younger ones, it was proof that fairy tales can start in the most unexpected places, even with a joke on a podcast. What began as a simple what if had turned into the biggest pop culture love story of the decade. One small bracelet, one public appearance, and suddenly two people from completely different worlds were rewriting what love in the spotlight could look like. But that was only the beginning, because what came next would prove that this wasn't luck or PR magic. It was something deeper, something meant to last. The engagement engagement was official, but the silence that followed was louder than any announcement. No date, no countdown, no save the date hints hidden in lyrics or captions. And for a couple who've lived half their lives in front of cameras, that silence was intentional and powerful. Because in their world, saying when means surrendering how. The moment a date goes public, everything changes. Venues get leaked, guests get hunted, and the most beautiful day of your life turns into a global event you can't control. Taylor Swift has seen that kind of chaos before. Every move she makes sparks theories, think pieces, and tabloid timelines. Travis Kelce knows the same pressure, only his comes from locker rooms, press conferences, and the brutal rhythm of an NFL season. Together, they've learned one thing: the fewer people who know, the more peace they get to keep. Still, fans can't help but speculate. The most common rumor points to summer 2026, sometime between the NFL offseason and Taylor's next tour leg. It makes sense, a window where they could both disappear without sacrificing their careers. Sources claim the wedding will fall somewhere between May and July, possibly in Nashville or a countryside estate far from paparazzi drones. But that's just it. Sources. Nothing confirmed, nothing official, nothing from them. And that's what makes this story different. Most celebrity couples rush to monetize the moment. Exclusive magazine deals, televised specials, inside the wedding coverage. But Travis and Taylor, they're doing the opposite. They're pulling back, protecting their timeline like it's sacred ground. It's almost old-fashioned, like they want the wedding to mean something more than just another trending topic. Their silence isn't confusion, it's control. And that control is their love language. While the internet argues over guest lists and dates, they're spending their days quietly building something that doesn't need to be posted to exist. He's back in training, she's in the studio, and somewhere between Kansas City and Los Angeles, the plans are unfolding exactly how they want, privately, deliberately, and far from the chaos. Fans notice the clues though. A subtle lyric about June skies, a photograph of Taylor wearing a delicate gold ring next to her engagement diamond. Travis spotted in Nashville on a random weekend. Maybe they're breadcrumbs, maybe they're coincidence. But either way, the internet eats it up. Because even in their quiet, they know how to keep the world watching. The absence of a date has become part of the mystery. And maybe that's the genius behind it. By not confirming anything, they've made everyone pay attention to everything. Every move, every rumor, every unspoken hint. So when Travis smiled in that interview and said, "Yeah, I think we're finally ready," it wasn't a slip, it was a tease. A controlled spark in a story that's already burning bright. And the next move, it's not about saving the date, it's about saving the story. Because the minute they make it public, it stops being theirs.
From the outside, it looks simple. Pick a date, plan a wedding, and make it perfect. But behind the scenes, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are playing a game of precision most people could never imagine. Their lives are calendars built on chaos. Stadium tours, NFL seasons, rehearsals, practices, cross-country travel, sponsors, teams, fans. Every week is booked, every hour accounted for. Finding a single day that belongs just to them, that's not romance, that's strategy. Taylor's world runs on time zones and tour legs. Every show is a city, every performance a small miracle of coordination. Crew, lighting, dancers, security, all moving like clockwork. Her 2026 tour is already mapped across continents with barely enough days off to breathe. Travis's world isn't any lighter. His schedule is brutal. Training camps, pre-seasons, regular seasons, playoffs, a cycle that doesn't end until February. Between the two of them, there's almost no overlap where the world stops long enough for them to simply be together. And yet, insiders whisper they've found a window, a rare stretch after the NFL season and before Taylor's tour restarts. A small slice of time where the noise quiets down. That's why people keep pointing to summer 2026. It's the only period that makes sense. But even that's risky. One injury, one extended tour date, one shift in scheduling, and everything changes. So instead of picking a date, they're playing chess, waiting for the right move, the right opening, the right moment that feels real instead of rushed. It's the kind of patience that drives the internet crazy. Every time Travis is spotted in Nashville, fans think it's a sign. Every time Taylor wears a new piece of jewelry, the headlines scream, "Wedding soon?" But both of them have learned that not every move needs a caption. They're not planning for hype, they're planning for peace. And here's the thing most people miss. Both of them understand what it's like to live on a schedule that isn't yours. Taylor spent years having her personal life dissected by strangers. Every heartbreak turned into a chart-topping song. Every silence labeled a scandal. Travis, on the other hand, knows the grind of sports seasons that own your life. You don't decide when to rest, the league does. You don't decide when to travel, the schedule does. That's what connects them. A mutual respect for control, timing, and privacy in a world that doesn't offer much of either. So while tabloids try to decode their next step, the real story is they're already building a life that works in rhythm, not rush. They're waiting for that that perfect moment when his final whistle meets her final encore and the world finally slows down long enough for them to say "I do" without a stopwatch hanging over their heads. Because this isn't a race to the altar. It's a masterclass in patience. The kind of patience only two people who've lived under constant pressure could ever understand. And just when it seems like they're playing it safe, the next chapter proves they're doing something even braver, protecting what matters most, their circle.
Every empire needs walls, not to keep people out, but to protect what's sacred inside. For Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, that wall isn't made of bricks or bodyguards. It's made of people, a small, fiercely loyal circle who know the value of silence in a world addicted to noise. At the center of it all is family. Donna Kelce, Travis's mom, became an unexpected internet favorite. Warm, funny, grounded, and completely herself. The way she's spoken about Taylor, not as the superstar, but as the woman who treats her son with kindness, resonated deeply with fans. Then there's Ed and Andrea Swift, Taylor's parents, who've watched their daughter navigate fame since she was a teenager. They understand better than anyone how dangerous exposure can be when the world feels entitled to your every move. Together, these families have quietly blended in a way few celebrity couples ever manage. They don't stage public dinners or leak photos to tabloids. They show up at games, at shows, at small private gatherings, and then disappear again. No press releases, no public statements, no comments to the media. That silence is deliberate. It's their invisible armor. Then there are the friends, the ones who know the difference between loyalty and leverage. Taylor's inner circle, the squad everyone used to talk about, has gotten smaller over the years. The people left are the ones who don't need to post to prove they're close. Travis's crew is the same. His teammates respect him enough not to spill details, and his brother Jason, who could easily cash in on the gossip through his own podcast, never crosses the line. That restraint, that quiet respect, is part of what keeps their relationship real. Insiders say this inner circle operates by an unspoken rule: protect peace at all costs. No leaks, no drama, no cheap stories. If something happens privately, it stays that way. Even their engagement, one of the biggest celebrity moments of the decade, was kept secret for weeks before the world found out. The proposal, the setting, the details, only a handful of people knew. That's not luck, that's discipline. Fans might think of Taylor and Travis as living in chaos, stadiums, spotlights, and flashing cameras, but behind all that is an ecosystem built on trust. Every person around them serves a purpose. Some are planners, some are anchors, and some are simply shields. They make sure that when the headlines get too loud, there's still a space where Taylor can just be Taylor, where Travis isn't a football legend, just a man in love. And maybe that's the real secret to how they've lasted this long, under so much attention. It's not just love, it's logistics. They've built something airtight, where energy flows inward, not out, where moments are shared in real time, not on timelines. Because when you live under the brightest lights, privacy isn't an accident, it's a team effort. And for Taylor and Travis, that team has become their greatest protection, a human guardrail, keeping them steady when the world leans in too close. But even with all that protection, the outside world never stops guessing. And what they're guessing about next is where this wedding will actually happen. If love stories are written in whispers, then this one has the whole world leaning in to listen. The question everyone keeps asking isn't if Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce will get married, it's where. And with neither of them confirming a thing, the speculation has turned into something like a global treasure hunt. Every fan theory, every flight sighting, every new rumor feels like another breadcrumb leading to the wedding of the decade. The most popular rumor? Tennessee. Specifically, a private countryside estate just outside Nashville. It's poetic, really. Taylor's second home, the place where she's written some of her most emotional songs, and where her career began to shift from country to global pop superstardom. Insiders say she's been spotted visiting properties near Leiper's Fork, an area known for its quiet charm and sprawling meadows. It's the kind of place where the air smells like summer and the night sky actually shows stars. Perfect for a ceremony far from paparazzi lenses, but close enough to feel like home. Then there's the Europe theory. Some fans believe the couple might escape across the Atlantic, perhaps somewhere like Italy or the French countryside, a symbolic blend of her love of travel and his desire for peace. Photos have surfaced online claiming Taylor was in Italy, scouting venues, though nothing was confirmed. Others speculate they might choose Ireland, a place Taylor's visited quietly in the past and once described as where everything feels real. Whether true or not, the mystery keeps fans glued to every post and paparazzi photo, searching for hidden meanings. But what's even
even more interesting than where is how. People close to the couple say the vibe they're going for is intimate, timeless, and deeply personal. No massive Hollywood guest list, no media sponsorships, no over-the-top decor, just under 100 guests, family, lifelong friends, and a few faces who've been part of their journey since before fame. Think candlelight, live strings, laughter instead of flashbulbs, a day that feels less like a spectacle and more like a sacred pause in the middle of two very loud lives. Travis, who's known for his charisma and larger-than-life personality, reportedly wants something warm and easy. He's said to be drawn to open fields, outdoor dinners, and live music, the kind of setting that feels like a big family gathering rather than a red carpet event. Taylor, meanwhile, envisions something poetic, a ceremony framed by nature, maybe a small gazebo, wildflowers, and a handwritten vow exchange with songs played softly in the background. Together, they're merging both dreams, a countryside celebration with her signature elegance and his down-to-earth spirit. And of course, the internet hasn't missed a single detail. When Taylor was seen wearing a delicate gold necklace shaped like an arrowhead, fans immediately tied it to Travis's team, the Kansas City Chiefs. To outsiders, it was just jewelry. To Swifties, it was a hidden message, a quiet nod to the man who helped her find home. That single accessory sparked thousands of fan theories, that the arrowhead symbolizes their meeting place, that it'll appear in her next album art, or even that it marks the theme of the wedding itself. Then there's the guest list speculation, a topic that's turned into its own digital circus. Fans imagine a lineup that feels like fantasy. Ed Sheeran performing an acoustic ballad, Blake Lively giving a heartfelt speech, Jason Kelce cracking jokes that make the whole crowd roar. But those close to the couple insist it'll be smaller than anyone expects, as no egos, no cameras, just hearts, as one insider put it. In a world where celebrity weddings are often stage-managed events, sold to magazines, or live-streamed for views, Taylor and Travis seem to be writing a different kind of script, one built on privacy, authenticity, and peace. Maybe that's why nobody can stop talking about it, because deep down, people crave the same thing, a love that's loud in meaning, but quiet in noise. And yet, for all the guessing, all the theories, all the supposed insider info, there's one truth everyone can agree on. Wherever it happens, however it looks, it'll be theirs. Entirely, completely, unapologetically theirs. But beyond the rumors and the romance, something else has been quietly growing behind the scenes, a deeper purpose that could redefine what their relationship means to the world.
Every great love story has the obvious moments, the grand gestures, the viral clips, the photo-perfect smiles. But what truly defines a relationship are the quiet details most people overlook, the things hidden in the margins. And for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, those little details tell a story that's far more powerful than any headline ever could. It starts with the symbols, the tiny intentional choices that fans pick up on faster than journalists do. That gold arrowhead necklace Taylor's been wearing lately, to most people, it's a subtle accessory, but to her fans, it's practically a love letter in jewelry form, a nod to the Kansas City Chiefs, the team that became the backdrop for their first public chapter. It's simple, personal, and quietly poetic, exactly the kind of language Taylor has always spoken best. Then there's Travis. He's not writing songs, but he's leaving his own kind of symbols. His pregame playlists have quietly started featuring Taylor's tracks. His locker room banter has softened. Teammates say he's calmer, more grounded, even more focused. They joke that Swift energy has turned him into the happiest guy on the field. But behind the jokes is something real, a man who's learning what it means to balance fame with something deeper. And fans notice that too, because when two people inspire each other to be better, not louder, not flashier, but better, it shows. You can see it in how they move, how they talk, how they carry themselves. Taylor once said in an interview, "Love doesn't make life perfect, it makes it real." That quote has never hit harder, but the meaning doesn't stop with symbols and attitude shifts. There's something much bigger brewing, something that stretches beyond their relationship. According to close sources, Travis has been quietly developing a foundation project inspired by conversations with Taylor, one that supports young musicians and athletes who come from tough backgrounds. The goal, reportedly, is to give kids access to training, instruments, and mentorship, a chance to rise above noise just like both of them did in their own ways. It's not a PR stunt, it's purpose, the kind of purpose that comes from late-night talks and shared values. Taylor, on her side, has been working on something equally meaningful, her next album, rumored to be her most grounded and introspective yet. Studio insiders describe the songs as letters to a lifetime partner, gratitude, stability, quiet confidence, words that fans are already calling the calm after the storm. Some even speculate the title might reference Travis's jersey number, 87, calling it the 87th chapter. Nothing confirmed, of course, but the symbolism fits perfectly. This is where the real beauty of their story lives, not in the spotlight, but in the subtle shift it's caused. Fans aren't just watching a romance anymore, they're watching
growth. Two people who've already conquered their separate worlds, learning how to build one together. It's not about fame or success or proving anything to the public. It's about meaning, about what happens when two people stop performing for the world and start building something lasting in private. And that's why people are emotionally invested, because this story isn't just about Taylor and Travis. It's about hope. Hope that even in a world built on noise, two people can find clarity. Hope that love can still be both simple and strong. Hope that maybe, after all the heartbreaks and public chaos, something real can survive under the brightest lights. Theirs isn't just a relationship, it's a reminder that love doesn't always announce itself with fireworks. Sometimes it hides in the smallest gestures, a song lyric, a shared look, a bracelet, a quiet promise. But as their love deepens and the world keeps watching, one final question lingers. What happens after the vows? What does life look like beyond the wedding bells?